Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Let's get started. If you are a returning customer, thanks for joining us again. My name is Charlie, and good old Uncle Mike asked me to do the webinar today. He's feeling a little bit under the weather. We hope you feel better, Mike. I'm just kidding. Michael's not my uncle. Hello, everybody. Don't mind the different background. I am visiting family up in Pennsylvania for the week, and it's been a wonderful treat compared to my normal, beautiful North Carolina weather, where it's about 60 degrees, and it's a lovely 20 degrees and 3 to 4 inches of snow the other day. So I'm already missing North Carolina, but we're going to get started. Let me get rid of that for you. You don't have to keep looking at that mug the whole time. All right, so before we get started and we jump into this, I just want to give you a little brief introduction. Again, my name is Charlie, and I started in the same spot that you're starting in right now. So I like to be very upfront with everybody. I am not Michael. I am not Ron. Which I think can also be a positive for everybody here in this room, because I don't have 15 years experience trading. In fact, I have just started trading in August. Funny story, I didn't know what a future was before August. Always wanted to get into stocks, had a friend of mine get me into Apex, which, quick funny story, is how I found Back to the Future. And this little wonderful signal right here, the flux capacitor, is a joke that I've been having to listen to from my father for the past, I don't know, 20 some years, ever since the Back to the Future movie came out. He's a mechanic, and anytime I would call him and be like, hey man, my truck is making this noise and it's doing this and that. And it's always the, did you check the flux capacitor? I'm like, still not funny, Dad. But anyway, it brought me to where I'm at. So, like I said, I sat in your seat 6 months ago and purchased Warp from watching the same thing that you're doing right now and listening to Michael go over the signals, which I'm not going to lie to you, the first time I've ever seen this, I was like, this is some type of crazy wizardry. There's no way that you could possibly predict these numbers. And I did this same thing that everybody sitting here is probably doing and going, where do the numbers come from? Where do you get the times? What happens? And I think Michael said one of the funniest things I ever heard, and he asked me, have you used it? Did the times work? And I said, yeah, the times work great. And he said, all right, so if I told you that the times came from witches and wizards from Hogwarts, would you still use the times? And I was like, not only would I use the times, I think that'd be the coolest thing in the world. Please tell me that's where they come from. But it wasn't that. So unfortunately, we have to go with actual data mining. Also, one other thing before we jump into this, ask as many questions as you want. We are going to go over the times that were given to you days in advance so that you can also see the amazingness that I saw. And then we're going to do a little switch up where I show you what I've been using for the past 3 months and have really refined over the past 2 months, which is not only using Warp, but also using another program that we have, which is called PVT, the price volume tool. And you're probably going to have a ton of questions, and I would love to answer those questions for you. But for the sake of time and getting through everything for everybody, throw your questions on there. If they're a quick thing, I will answer them real quick. If it's something that requires a little bit more detail in answering, please shoot me an email, or David or I will email you to respond to your question that you're putting there. My email is begin@backtothefuturetrading.com. That is begin@backtothefuturetrading.com. And David's is a tough one. David's is David@backtothefuturetrading.com. So reach out to us, and we'll also reach out to you with any questions that you put in the chat there. So We're here to help you guys, and we love doing it. So, all right, let's jump into this. Before we go into the charts, what is it that separates for us from all the other companies out there? If you're the same as me, you probably paid for the gurus on, I was gonna say Netflix. You probably paid for the gurus on YouTube. I can't tell you how many people that I signed up for the quotations training, and I got emailed a bunch of videos and PDFs, never to hear from somebody ever again. You watch the person on YouTube that trades or TikTok and makes thousands of dollars a day using this one indicator, and you buy it, doesn't work, never hear from them again. So as a customer, no offense to Michael or the company, I came in with that same kind of skepticism of what makes this Back to the Future company, other than it's some of my favorite movies, what makes them any different from all the other indicators and training that I did. And I sat in this webinar and I used the times, and then Michael was kind enough to even pass me along to some customers that use the software and were extremely successful with it, taking out absurd payouts from Apex. And that was it for me. When I got to hear from customers and looked on Trustpilot, and that was the closing deal for me, because that's what I wanted to do with Apex. So since then, I've developed my own strategy, which is different. So I just want to let you know, if you're in Michael's room, if you've traded with Ron before, if you're watching the videos that we have on the website, don't get blown away if I say something crazy to you like I don't wait for pullbacks. He doesn't what? Oh my goodness, and Michael let him on here? Yeah, he did. I love to use the analogy that trading is like diets. If you find a good diet like Weight Watchers or Atkins, I forget, South Beach, whatever it is, if you stick to the rules, they're going to work. You're going to lose weight. Same thing. If you find a trader that can help you and mentor you with the software, stick to the rules. It's going to work. But you have to find something that works for you, which is what I found, and I'll show you in just a minute. So going back to what makes us different than the other companies. I have some pictures here. Don't worry, you don't have to read all this, and feel free to reach out to me if you want screenshots. I am a screenshot maniac. I take screenshots every day and put these little notes on it. This is an older one that is in the PowerPoint here, but I'll show you some new ones from just a couple weeks ago. We are different from everybody else because we don't just give you an indicator that's going to show you when to buy and sell. There's a why behind what we do, and that is leveling the playing field of the big banks and institutions that control the market. And if you're here sitting in this room, I'm pretty sure that you believe the same thing, and that these big banks and institutions do control the market. This is a report from back before the end of the year where the unemployment report came out, and it beat all the numbers that everybody was expecting. Great news, right? What happens? Those big, anybody know? Anybody want to throw it down? What do those big institutions do? They throw stuff out in the news to make you think the opposite, and everybody sells. And then who do you think's buying all that when it's down here at an all-time low? That's right, all the big banks and institutions. And then who do you think's selling it back to us all the way back up here? Now you guys are on fire today. That's right, the big banks and institutions. But what if you had a tool like Warp that at 8:27 told you to sell and that the market was going to go down? Are you as mind blown as I was 6 months ago? To be honest with you, I'm like a kid in a candy shop. Every time I do this, I'm still blown away. So looking at was it the Fed? Yep. Oh, we don't want that. Let's look at the Fed report from 2 weeks ago. I know we just had a report last week, but This one is ones I took pictures pre and after. So as you know from us giving you the time signals, 2 and 3 days in advance, you know that we hit these times, print it well in advance. So at 2 o'clock, before the Fed report came out, actually days before the Fed report came out, you could have got this information. This is right up to the Fed report. Warp tells us to sell at 2 o'clock. Can anybody guess what happened after the Fed report? It go up, it go down. Was Warp right? That's right. Warp was 100% right and went down. I got excited and took the picture early. This actually continued to go down almost all the way to the 216 buy signal. Is it possible? Can something actually predict this? Right? Seems really impossible. You ever feel like this? I'm not as skinny as him, but I'm probably as short as that little guy. We know that the institutions have patterns. You can see it. History repeats itself. It's one of my favorite pictures Michael sent. I remember back when I was trading and watching all the YouTube videos, and I was looking for the double bottoms and what's RSI doing and what's the 60. Let me draw a trend line on the 60-minute and the daily chart and the 3-minute, and then I'm going to know what's happening here. Nope. You're going to guess what's happening there. We give you the times and take away the question mark. So we are the only company that you are going to find that is going to give you times and directions in advance. We are the only company that's going to let you test this out, as we just gave you free times on Monday, Tuesday, so you can trade Wednesday and Thursday. Besides that, which was the biggest thing for me, and if some of you can attest, oh, well, we can't let you talk, but a lot of people in this room can attest to this. I see some people here that I've worked with, and the support continues after. I send out trading sheets every day, which I'll show you a few of those. We have Google Docs to give you some strategies. Michael has a trading room that you can sign up and trade with. You're gonna get the support continued. I always tell anybody that I meet with, the only way you are not gonna get support is if you don't reach out. That is the only way. So let's pull up some of our Warp charts, and let's pull up the information that we give you ahead of time. This is, look, we know how hard it is to believe. Oh, look at that handsome devil. We know how hard it is to believe that you can see times into the future. So that's why we have the confidence to give them to you. So thanks to the amazing Rachel, everyone here had these signals Monday or Tuesday. Let's look at today. What do we got here? All right, so let's pull up the ES 5-minute. Just so you know, all of this stuff we're looking at for the first time together, because I don't want to give Michael a heart attack, but there's my chart. Ooh, scared. Oh my God, he's not using lavender and blue. Everybody calm down. I only trade one market, the NQ. So we're going to look at this together and figure this out. Let's pull that back up, and everybody follow along with me. I like to do market open. So am I on the right one? ES 5-minute. Yes, I am. There. Oh, am I on the wrong day? Thursday. What is? Let's try that again. See that? Michael's not going to let me do it anymore. Let's go to the gold. Make sure I'm pulling up the right one. There we go. All right, so here we have the gold on a 5-minute. Let's see where the chart is. We're at 8:45. So at 8:45, we have a buy until 9:40. 8:45, here's our buy. 9:40, next signal. $600 trade. Anybody here trade gold? One? Yeah, two? Okay, nice. All right. Every time I look at these charts, I have to force myself to stick at the rules because I'm like, oh man, look, it works on everything. But I like the I like my NQ. So let's look at our next time. We have a 9:40 sell, 9:40 sell, 10:10 buy, 11. We have a sell, but it is a pattern 4. If you're familiar with the software or you've looked at your histogram book, which is in the handout here, you can download it if you didn't already get it from your customer center on the website. A pattern 4 can reverse. So Warp does not only give you just buy and sell times, it also gives you patterns that Michael has developed over the past 15 years, which are amazing and will save you. Pattern 4 is a sell time at a new low. So Warp gives you this beautiful number and the arrows that are telling you, hey, be careful, this might reverse on you. And it reversed a little bit and then steadied out. I'm a big fan of, a lot of people don't like chop. I love chop because I like taking the trade out of it, but nobody knows when chop is coming, right? Warp does. When you see times this close together, stay away. But even with telling you to stay away, 11:40. Let's make sure we're not hiding anything here. 11:40, we have a buy. 11:50 sell. 12:50 buy. Let's see. 11:40 buy. Whew. What happened at 11:50 sell? Went down. 12 o'clock buy, went up. Unbelievable. Let's look at another one. Let's look at the euro. Anybody here trade? I know we got some Forex people. Anybody trade the futures? I've heard from people that once people start trading the futures, they won't be trading Forex anymore. But again, I'm an NQ guy, so I'm a little biased to the NQ. But let's pull up the euro. Let's see what we got. The joys of visiting family with wireless internet. Can't complain though. Got a place to stay. All right, let's bring the euro up on the 3-minute. And our chart is 8:21. We have 8:21. 8:21, we have a sell. 8:30, we have a buy that went up. Again, we have another pattern 5. 8:48, we have a sell that went down. We have a buy that goes up. Now, I am a bit, which you'll hear in just a moment, I am a big believer in taking less trades, which we'll go over in my strategy in a moment. But if you just took a couple of these, $300. What happened when Warp said to sell? Another 125. What happened at 9:09 when Warp said to go long? Maybe you got out sooner, even if you went all the way to the next signal, 175. We don't take against the trend, but if you did, that would be a small loser, $6. We have a pattern 5 that we're expecting to reverse. Another winner. Pattern 2, Again, I don't trade against the trend, but another winner and a loser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades and 5 accurate. Anybody trade the YM? Not many? Okay, nice. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Once you trade those, you won't go back. All right, YM, perfect. So let's look. Ooh, I need to start trading the YM. I wanted to do one during lunch and the afternoon, just so you can see. So I don't trade during lunch. I also don't trade in the afternoon, which is pretty funny. But you know how they say trading is 90% mental? For me, it's 98% mental. I don't know what it is, but I can use this software, especially with the PVT, to be almost 90 to 100% accurate. And you put me trading after lunch, forget it. If I'm in demos with people from 12 until 4 o'clock, I can show you winning trades all day long. But there's something for me mentally. I don't like trading after lunch. I also shoot for 1 trade a day, which we'll go over in a moment, because I use funders and you only need 1 trade. But also mentally, and I think this is with a lot of traders, we don't trade the same when we're in the green or the red. No matter what your strategy is, when you're in the green, let's not blame anybody. I'll talk about myself. When I'm in the green, my next trade, I was always somewhere floating around in the back of my head. Wow, I got a $400 cushion. I think this is going to go up. And then I start thinking instead of following the software. When I'm in the red, the software works great. I haven't had a losing trade in 15 days. The next one has to be a winner. And I always lose more, which is how I came up with the strategy that I've been helping so many people with and myself, 1 to 2 trades. But let's look at the YM. And we're right about before lunch up until almost now. Sell time, we're not taking this with only a couple minutes. We'll count that as wrong though. Buy time, pattern 5, could reverse. We do not take a pattern 5 unless we break the high. It's one of my favorite trades. So next signal, winner. Pattern 2, above the EMA. We won't take it, but you do have a little dip, which is, we'll go into the strategy a little bit. That one you could take, it's a 1. You got a loser there. Winner. Winner. A winner. Anybody catching on to why we're so confident yet about sending out the signals? So on the YM, you received these 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Even counting against the trend, that is a 78% accuracy. I don't know about anyone in this room, but a lot of people that take multiple trades are happy with a 55, 51% win rate. So that is an outstanding percentage. What have you learned? Let's I was going to say, let's see what it's doing right now, but that is markets closed. But we had another pattern 5 that did continue and go up, another winner. 2 that went down before the close. So we're actually up over around 80% now. Yes, settings are 7, 14, swing 8. I always use the standard settings, especially because I trade the NQ. But all of these settings are the same as well. I know Michael uses some different settings sometimes on different charts and different time frames, but what you're looking at here is the 714 swing 8. I am not using the new filter yet. Good question. And I'm going to be super hush hush about that because Michael's got a big meeting coming up later on that. Check your emails. He sent that link out. And I will tell you that it is absolutely mind blowing. I am not using the filter where it pops up on Warp, but I am using some of the methodology and with my own rules that I'm going to show you in a moment. And I gotta find some wood to knock on while I'm saying this. 17 days in a row with an average of $300 to $400 on the NQ in one trade. And I'm going to stick with it. So don't miss that meeting. Check your email. I know Michael sent it out to everybody. So I think we can all agree at this point that you should be sitting in the same spot that I was 6 months ago and going, okay, this 100% can't be faked, right? The times don't repaint. The candles don't repaint. And everybody had these times. Ooh, that's Michael circa 1985. Everybody had these times a couple days ago. Good question on the stops. I use my own specific stops, which we're about to get into my trading plan at the moment. So you get a little extra sauce today rather than just the warp pitch and proof of how it works. But I use my own stops, and I have trading plans that are super easy to follow. You can reach out to me by email and just let me know, and I'll share this document with you. We'll talk about this later at the end, but we also do mentor sessions. I do them, Dorian does them, Ron, Michael, we all do mentoring. I hope he doesn't get mad at me, but David, I think David does some options that he might be able to mentor you on. But everybody has their own unique thing. I use PVT and Warp, which I'm about to show you right here. I use PVT and Warp, which is our price volume tool, and the Warp tool that you're looking at right now, and that was the game changer for me. I did wonderful with Warp, and I loved it, but I was looking for something to be able to leave my job selling life insurance because I had enough of that, even though I was working from home. And the Warp and PVT together is what did it for me. You're going to see some other things on the chart, like the multiple EMAs and the VWAP. Believe it or not, everything you see on those three things, those three things that I just mentioned came from customers. People that I've worked with, either sold or did the mentoring with, have also given input to make this strategy as good as it is today. And it is Warp with the PVT tool, which in my opinion is one of the greatest things that we have besides Warp. It's the price volume indicator, and it basically tells you at whatever time frame you're using, when that candle closes, green is telling you that buyers are stronger, red is telling you that sellers are stronger, yellow is telling you that it is changing. Seems pretty simple, right? Not always. If you look at the chart, you can see some green candles that go down and some red candles that go up. So you do need to use some intuition, but I'm going to run through with you really quickly what I do. And please feel free to reach out to me. I'll get the trading plan to you. We can do a mentor session. Anybody that I do mentoring with, every single day, I send out a training sheet. This is today's. Every day you get a training sheet of the NQ or the ES. It is time consuming, so I don't do a million markets, but I'll put every trade that the system and the strategy may have presented. I'll put black arrows to show you, hey, here's the trade I took. And then I'll even send you a little picture of what I did. I am very happy to say, and please do not think this is boasting, if anybody in this room has ever dealt with the funding and evaluation process, you know how hard it is to pass those evaluations. So I am happy to say that I just got these Bullinox accounts last Friday. They have a 5-day passing rule. So I passed them yesterday, being over 26,500. So today I just had to do one quick trade to make it a 5th trading day. That's why all of my accounts closed at the 150. But these are the 2 trades that I would have taken, which was the 705 and SIM. I also send this out to you every single day and share that with you. Again, not to gloat, but to show you, 1, the system works, and 2, if you reach back out to me for help, I will help you pass those evaluations. Now, sounds easy, right? It's not easy. We all know following the rules isn't easy. It's pretty hard to stop when you hit $150 and you want it to hit 300. But that's what I do. It's hard to not try to get into every signal. I don't. What I try to train people on is use the software to talk you out of a trade. Sounds crazy, right? But that's what I do. So my rules are not to trade until, let's get this out. My rules are to not trade until 9:35 on the NQ, and I really, really try to push it to 9:40. If you've traded the NQ, even the ES seems like it's been the same lately at open. It just wicks up and down. It's like riding a bull. Sorry, I had to throw at least one analogy in for Michael to be proud of me. It's like riding a bull. It's up, down, up, down. Now, of course, after the fact, you know, the open looks like, oh man, that would have been a great trade if you got in. If you traded the NQ today, this candle went up and down about 15 times in that 60 seconds. So I only trade with the trend. When I say trend, I'm saying my rules out of order. Number 1 is only trade market hours. And for me, I only trade the morning session. We do not start until 9:35. I like to push it to 9:40. And I'm done usually by before 11 every day. I like to tell people, if you're over trading, you're hurting yourself in 2 ways. 1, over trading is killing you in commissions and making it harder for you to have less risk. And then 2, I wish I could get a show of hands here, but I can get some yeses. I don't think any one of us started trading so that we could keep a 9-to-5 job and sit at a desk all day. We got into trading, at least I know I got into trading, because I wanted to spend more time with my family and my amazing fiance and go enjoy life. So I make a trade and leave. And I share that with everybody on my email list every day. They were making fun of me the other day, but just the other day, I was done trading at 9:58, sent the email out, told everybody, I hope you did the same thing and you're done trading for the day. So I use the software to talk me out of trading with the rules. Rule number 1, 9:35 until 12 o'clock at the latest. Does it work outside of that? Sure it does. I got plenty of people that trade pre-market when the London market opens, outside afterwards. Absolutely. Rule number 2 is I only trade with trend. When I say trend, I don't have a 60-minute chart up. and a 15-minute chart up and drawing trend lines and, oh, we're about to break out of it. When I say trend, I simply mean I'm only selling below my 3 EMAs and I'm only buying above my 3 EMAs. One of my favorite things with this part is everybody go, not everybody, a couple people go, oh, you're missing so many trades. Look at this bounce off the bottom and it went up. Great. If you're doing such an amazing job and you can pick out every time it's going to reverse, go make thousands of dollars every day. That's not what I'm looking for. I have 6 Apex accounts. I now have 6 Bullinux accounts that just passed. I want everybody, and if you're a funder naysayer, that's fine. You don't have to do this. If you want to trade with other people's money and not lose your own money, I want everybody to do some math for me right now, and I'm going to wait for an answer because I want to see if anybody's doing this. I can have 20 Trade-Evade Apex accounts, and I can have 11 Rithmic Bullinux accounts. Someone do some quick math for me, and let's call it a rough day and we do $300 trade. What's 31 times 300? I want to see at least one number pop in the chat here. Oh, come on, we're traders. Nobody's got a quick calculator handy? Yeah, there it is. Nice, thank you, Ken. My man, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Ken, Stanley, thank you. Thank you, everybody. $9,300. If anyone in this room can't survive off of $9,300, please send me an email, and I would like to come spend the day with you and see what $9,300 a day in bills buys. $150 a day. If I hit my first target of $150 a day, and I'm mad because that's all I did today, that is still $4,650. So if you want to trade with me, nope, don't listen to that. If you want to trade with my strategy and you want me to help you and send you training guides every day, for example, today I sent a video out. I was so excited. I took, let's see. Okay, here we had a pattern 4, and I have a lot of people asking me how the pattern 4s go and how do I trade them and what do I mean by continuation. So I put a sell order right here below, not there, it was up higher. I put the sell order right here below the pattern 4. So I could show everybody what happens when a pattern 4 continuations. And then I had a talk, and which I love doing. I had a talk and blab for about 10 minutes. And right as I said, all right, we're within about 6 minutes of this buy time. It's about time to get out of here. PVT changed. We shot down, triggered my sell stop. And in one candle, I hit my 150 and my 300 target out at 450. That right there is what I look for every day. And then after that happens, I close down. I'm not exaggerating. I know people that keep trading. Oh, I'm going to switch to sim. You know what you do when you switch to sim? You create bad habits. You're trading more. You move your stop because you're in sim. You take more risks. You throw on another contract. If you're going to practice, close down the day, pull up your playback, and start on January 2nd. When you're doing playback, don't take 15 trades to quotations, learn the system. You make a trade in playback and you make 150 bucks, you make 200 bucks, you close and you go to January 3rd, do it again. Go to January 4th, do it again. I had to do the math every day times 31 until I could get the discipline to stop trading. And that is how you will pass a $25,000 account in 5 days. You know what that also does? After you're done trading and those accounts are now PAs, you're going to keep following the same system. And you're going to make a $300 or $450 trade, and you're going to stop trading and you're going to walk away happy. I do not trade the micros. I do all minis. A lot of people don't know this. Even though they are identical and move the same, they are a different instrument. So your times might be a little bit different by a minute or so. And your PVT might be a little bit different because PVT is based on volume. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. I like to tell people, if you're practicing and you're trying to learn the strategy, don't do the micros. Go get an Apex account or a Bolonox account when they're 80% or 90% off, and it's $15. Who cares if you blow it, right? Don't go get 20 Apex accounts, get the trade copier, and you're going to learn a new strategy and pass 20 accounts. It's not worth it. Play with one account so that it is real money. It's what you're going to do when you're done, and you're using the same ATMs. You're using the same charts that I am, and you can compare. You're going to learn pretty quick when you're getting a screenshot every single day to see the trades that you should have took. And then, for example, here at 10:43, we break above. Nope, I'm lying to you. Where am I at? We're below the EMA. Here you go. Here is a sell signal that shot down into the buy time. Huge trade. I am not going to send that to you and gloat about it, how great the system and the strategy works, because that is not following the strategy. The strategy does not get into a trade when you have another signal coming up in a couple minutes. So if you got into that trade and made money, again, you're creating bad habits. Because what happened at 11:30 at a buy time? Up. What happened at 10:43 at a buy time? Up. What happened at 10:33 at a buy time? Up. What happened at 10:01 at a buy time? Up. So this is one lucky chance. We get out of a trade if PVT turns yellow and tells us it's changing, or we get out of the trade when the candle closes before the next signal. One of the most common mistakes people make is, let's go back here and see. Here you go. A lot of people will make the mistake of thinking they can beat Warp. I got a sell time coming up at 9:37, and we're trending down. We're below the EMAs. Let me get in here. Maybe you get lucky. But what happened? This was a pattern 4 that reversed. Stick to your rules. Don't jump ahead of Warp. Keep doing it. Ken, I thought I had you on the email list, but Ken, shoot me an email after this, and I'll add you to the email list that goes out every day. Anybody who wants that, just shoot me an email, and I'll add you to the email list that goes out every day with the screenshot. So if you notice today, and please don't think this isn't saying anything bad about Warp. Look, 9:32 had a candle go up, 9:37 down, 9:45 down, 9:44 up, 10:01 up. This signal was not. 10:17 down a little bit and then up. 10:27 down, 10:33 up, sideways, 10:43 up, 11 down, 10 opposite, right? So each Warp signal, you're still looking at about 70% accuracy on this chart. I don't want 70% accuracy. I want 100%. So when you use Warp and PVT with my strategy, I shouldn't say my strategy, our strategy. A lot of our customers and people I've become friends with have helped with this. If you use the rules, there was only 2 trades today that followed the rules. When we had the pattern 4 continuation, one contract at 150. If you rode the other one out, you're at $600. Buy below the EMA, nothing. Sell with with green PVT, buyers, nothing. A buy below the EMA, nothing. A sell below the EMA, but I got buyers here. And when I do turn to sellers, I got a buy time in a couple minutes, nothing I can do. Buy time below the EMA, nothing. Sell time below the EMA. Here's a great example of why I love PVT. If I'm just using Warp and I'm below the EMA, I'm getting in this trade and I might be getting stopped out. PVT tells me don't get in because buyers are stronger. Buy time below the EMA, nothing. Sell time below the EMA, but we got buyers here. And when we turn to sellers, I have a signal coming, nothing. Sell time, I'm below the EMAs. I'm below the pivot. That's a great trade. Let's see if we would have hit our targets. Oh, we would have crushed our targets. 150, could have moved your second target to 450 or 500. Here's another $600 trade. Buy time below the EMA, nothing. Sell time below the EMA, but buyers here, nothing. So let's look at the signals from the open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 signals till 11:30 that were about 75% accurate with Warp. Outstanding. Our strategy only allowed you to take 2, which were 100% on the dot. So that's what I mean when I say I use the strategy to talk me out of trades. Instead of going, all right, at 10:08, we got a sell time. I'm looking to go short here. I'm going, all right, it's 10:08, we got a sell time. Oh man, we're at a new low. I'm probably not selling here at a new low. Let's see what happens. Boom, PVT turns green. Oh, we got a buy time. Maybe we'll get over the EMA and maybe I can buy. No, I'm going, oh man, buy time. I'm below the 120 EMA. VWAP's up there. I'm not doing anything. Ooh, sell time. I'm below the EMA and VWAP, but I got buyers here, and I'm not below the 8 and the 20. I'm not doing anything. It sounds silly, but it works. Talk yourself out of the trade so that when you get into one like this, and you get into one like this, you're not biting your nails and sweating, worrying about if you pick the right move. I'm going to, anybody who asks for the trading plan, it may be a little bit, I might get it to you tomorrow, but for your own benefit, because I am adding a whole nother page to it that I'm going to call Charlie the Cheapo section. Charlie doesn't like giving money back. If you trade with funders, you'll know how bad it is and how painful it is when you're in a $1,000 trade and you get out at 500 and you're bouncing around the room because you just made $500 on 20 accounts, but your trailing threshold went down by 500 because you didn't take profit. Everybody gets mad at the funders for that, but I always ask myself this question. If I could have made 1,000 and I only made 500 with my own money, would I be pissed? Damn right I'd be pissed. I don't get mad at the funder rules. I use them to make me a more strict, more disciplined trader. And for anyone who's sitting there thinking that this is easy, absolutely not. The email was begin@backtothefuturetrading.com. You want me to spell that many words, right? Send to all. All right. And my ADD, I'm gonna have to answer the email question. And then I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the taking profit. I love Michael's comment when I told him, I said, hey man, I said, I'm meeting with a lot of people and some people are like, oh, you got to let these run. You got to let these run. And I mean, am I doing okay making $350 a day at $500 a day? And Michael's like, first of all, you're insane. That's outstanding in only a few months. And then he said, no one ever went broke taking profits. And a lot of people's argument to that is, yeah, but if you don't let your winners run, when you have that big loser, and all right, I'm going to stop you right there. And here's why I'm putting the Charlie Cheapo section on the trading strategies. I would rather break even and be wrong than be wrong and get stopped out at $400. Let me say that again. I would rather be wrong and get stopped out at break even than be wrong and get stopped out at $400 loss. So for example, when I had my sell stop here and this kicked me in the trade, this was a great trade. Everything went the way it should have. It was a dream, hit both targets. Let's say that this candle, this blue line here, we'll say that was my entry. If this candle is going below my entry, above my entry, below my entry, above my entry, in my opinion, I didn't pick the right trade because I'm not looking for a 10-minute trade. I want what happened today where it shoots down, and in that candle, I'm out at both targets. So if I'm bouncing around, I'm clicked on my two stops, and the second it goes above, boom, I'm moving to break even. And if I get kicked out at break even, then trade went my way, or actually did go my way, no problem. I'll just catch this trade over here. That's why I don't hit my $400 stop loss. And this was a tough one for me. If I hit my first target, which on the trading plan is all the ATMs that you can set up automatically. So when I hit my first target of 150, my second contract moves to so-called break even. My break even is now 150 bucks. If you trade on the NQ, you know how easy it is to hit 30 ticks. So this shoots down and gets my first target at 150. And then let's say the next candle goes back up to break even. I'm done trading for the day because I'm in the green. And Charlie doesn't trade the same when he's in the green. So when you can build that discipline, you're going to do well. And I sit here and I make it sound like it's easy. It's not easy. What I have to do is put things in place to make it easy. So I go to the gym every morning and I come up to the office at about 9:05 because we all know how wonderful NinjaTrader is. Sometimes it takes 16 times of opening it to work. But I make sure both of my computers fire up. I make sure it's connected. And then I leave the office. I have an alarm set on my phone for 9:30. Because you know what I do if I'm sitting at the computer at 8 o'clock? Ooh, I know it's pre-market, but that looks like a great move. And then I lose money. If I make a trade like I did this morning, let me see, when did I text Michael? I texted Michael 9:58. So I sent Michael that $150 trade at 9:58, and I left the office. I leave the office until 12 o'clock when I'm going to send emails. I'm literally making the screenshot, sending it to my laptop because my laptop doesn't have NinjaTrader. And then I sit outside with a cigar and I send everybody the emails. I don't come back into the office until noon when I am on with customers doing demos or mentoring until 5 o'clock. It's not easy. Put things in place that are going to make you do it. This is going to sound cheesy and you're going to laugh, but get an accountability partner. I love when people send me trades and they're at like $1,100 and I'm like, great, now send me a picture of your computer turned off. All right, I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing from me. I look forward to everybody's emails. I look forward to reaching out to everybody. I'll pull up the report after this, and David and I will go through all of your questions. Any questions that we didn't answer, I will send you a detailed email of the answer. And if I don't know the answer, we'll send it over to David and Michael, and they can answer you. We'll get the trading plan out to whoever asked after actually, I can send you the trading plan because it's a Google Doc, but just take a look at it, because I do make changes throughout it. And I tell people, give me some suggestions. I sent it out the one day after I copied the ES to the NQ, and a customer reached out and they was like, hey, you got the ES ATM on NQ. Awesome. Thanks for your help. Anyone in this room, there's a bunch of people in here that can attest to, I didn't know this was a thing, but I am not the average trader that doesn't want to share the strategy. I want everybody to know the strategy, and I want everybody using PVT and Warp to make 300 hours a day times 30 accounts and be millionaires, rather than who's it, JP Morgan that posted last month. Their last year, I'm sorry, 2 years ago, 2022, they reported record, unbelievable earnings and highs, and then 2023 they beat it. Let's have some of that money. All right, if you go to the website, you can go to the product store, and you can see the Warp right here. I am literally blown away that Michael hasn't upped it yet. Michael has told us multiple times that it is going to go to $29.95. It hasn't been raised since 1942 when Michael created the software. He looks good for his age, doesn't he? But seriously, it hasn't been raised in about 10 years. So I know that he is talking about that, but it is still $24.95. And if you're in this room right now, we do have, I'll put it in there, Warp. No, that's not how I spell Warp. Warp off, and that will give you a $500 discount. And again, my biggest goal, being a customer and being in your shoes, is coming up with some type of program, and David will do the same. We're going to make it work for you. So don't let the price steer you away. Don't let, oh, PVT's got to be $1 million too. It's a whole nother trading software. It's only $500,000. No, but seriously, reach out, and our goal is for you to also beat the systems. So we will make it work for you. One thing I do suggest before I keep going, I forgot to say this. So many people get the times and they just want the times to work. If you don't read the histogram book that Michael was amazing to make and give out free, I mean, that's one of the biggest things people charge for on YouTube is patterns. It's free. Use the histogram book. If you're like me and you need it in crayons and couldn't figure out what a pattern 4 and 5 was, reach out to us. I'll explain to you the pattern 4 and 5. But use the tools that are there. You have the resource center right now with videos. Watch the training videos. Reach out to me. Hey, how am I using these time signals? Well, you don't have the patterns because you don't have Warp, but I can make it simple for you. A pattern 4 is a new low. A pattern 5 is a new high. Don't just sell at a new low. Don't just buy at a new high. There you go. You just got a crash course on the patterns, free of charge. Give yourself time. I remember the very first day I did it, I used Wednesday signals and I didn't make money. And then I got on the webinar on Thursday and I was like, what the heck did I do wrong? Every signal looks right. Don't beat yourself up. It takes time to learn, okay? If you have the software already, I can't tell you how much this is worth it. Anyone here who has dealt with me, I try to do the absolute most affordable thing I can do for anybody. I try not to charge money for things that I don't need to. This is the absolute best thing I've ever seen. I did the mentorship with Dorian before I worked here, and that $200 that I spent is what flipped me around to making money every day. Michael, Ron can give you their strategies. Dorian can give you his strategies. Mine, I do it a little bit different. My mentoring, I have, it's a program. It's not just the meeting. You're going to get those videos and the screenshots every single day. So it's continued support. We are here for you. It's what made me fall in love with the company, and is what I really strive to continue to do, is not just the software, it's the support. And then we also have the Skype community. People are going crazy right now in the Skype community, posting their settings, their pictures, their trades. It's really great. So, oh my goodness, it's 5:04. I went over the time. Pretty sure we covered everything. I hope that I gave you a little bit different perspective on how I use it, as well as the absolute ridiculous proof that the times that we gave you 2 days ago are right here in front of you and working. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Michael said to please tell you that he loves all of you, and I'm sure he'll go back. He will be back next 30. Oh my goodness, it's time for me to stop talking. He will be back next Thursday, unless you are all extremely lucky and he asks me to do it again. So it was great being here with all of you. Thank you for the questions. I will get all of those answers out to you right away. Please email me if you have any more detailed questions. And it was great seeing everybody. Have a great end of your Thursday and happy trading tomorrow.